Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a very cold morning. I can't believe 4 hours from the Florida borderline how cold it is this morning. Arctic blast. I don't know where it came from. The North Pole. Last night we got down to 10 degrees outside. Like, I don't even understand why Southeast Georgia is sitting at 10 degrees. It's unbelievable. Thank God I have put in some antifreeze in both my RV tanks and also in our sinks. Is very important because any little bit of water left in your tanks, it'll freeze on you. You'll bust your tanks out. It's a very active morning out here. The road is very, very active. But, yeah, I can't believe it. We had so much rain. Yesterday was 55 degrees. It dropped down to about 45 around 3 o'clock. We had some rain that moved in. That's your cold front. And then, OMG, like around 2:30 this morning, the dogs were wanting to try to go out. I know there's lots of we seen a wild hog out here, like right down the block from me. So I'm like, no, you're not going out. But I checked that thermometer out there, and 10 degrees. Wow, amazing. So right now it's currently 32 degrees. It has come up above, a little bit above freezing. We might even get snow this year. It's a phenomenon. It does happen. It's a rare occurrence. But we might even be lucky to get it this year. It snowed like, not a lot, but you did get a dusting, let's just say. And they had an ice storm like about 5 years ago here. And about 3 years ago, they had the little snowstorm. That would be awesome. I haven't seen snow since I left New York in 2002. It's crazy. But I left New York. I lived there my whole entire life. I'm from, all over. I'm Norwegian gypsy. Military jets above us. I don't know. I don't see him out there. Oh, I see him right there. Let me see. I have to blow it up. He's such a speckle in the sky right now. But yeah, we get military jets out here. Yeah, my camera's not focusing right. But they out here, they're practicing. It was very quiet on Veterans Day. They weren't out here practicing. Maybe the U.S. military had the day off, which they should. I hate coming into the holiday months. The holiday months are like leading up to my dad's passing. I haven't had a Christmas tree up since 2015. I think this year I'm going to get me a couple of Christmas trees. Buy them from the lady down the road from us. Heading to Wadley. There's a little Christmas tree farm over there. I'm going to get me like 2 for my front yard so I could dress up. And then 1 out here in the back. I can't put in the RV. There's just nowhere for a Christmas tree to be placed in here. But I'm going to put 1 outside in front of my RV this year. I haven't had no Christmas tree up. My dad died December 10th, 2015. My birthday's December 19th. That's 9 days. 9 days before my birthday. It's not like, of all months to die, why do you die in December? It's like, I don't even celebrate my birthday. It's just like a complete shutdown. It wasn't like my dad was sick. Wasn't like, this was expecting news. Like, we knew he was gonna die. It was very unexpected. And basically really heartbroken because it really changed me inside. it's like losing a child. You know, I love my dad to death. My dad was my buddy. He was my friend. He was, you know, I had a better relationship with him than I did with my mom. So I would talk to my dad every single day. And when was it? November, like right after Thanksgiving, 2015. He was talking like, you know, I don't think I want to move to Florida. I want to try to stay in New York. Maybe I could find me an apartment around here. You know, where he was living at my grandmother's house. My grandmother, God bless her soul, she lived all the way to 100 years old. 100 years old. 100 years old. She died 2 days before her 100th birthday. June 15, 2015. She was born June 15th, 1915. She's seen everything. She's lived in New York her whole entire life. Her family used to be a bunch of potato farmers, and they had dogs and cattle and all kinds of stuff. And the house that they lived in was the original house. It's been grandfathered in for over 5 generations, and it was left to my grandmother. And once my grandmother passed away, like, it was left to the siblings. My grandmother outlived all her siblings. The house was immediately to be sold off a year after she passed away. So basically, my dad was going to be pushed out into the streets, but it's the way it's been written for over 100 people, 100 years, 100 generations. It's like almost 250 years of generation, keeping in the family until your last known child, which was my grandmother. And my father didn't approve of it. He didn't agree with it. You wasn't born when they made this stuff, you know. So it was pretty sad. My dad had to leave his only home that he's known his whole entire life. My dad was 72 years old. He wasn't ready to make a change. He lived in New York his whole entire life. And I guess he must have felt like, you know, broken heart syndrome. My dad died 6 months and 5 days short of his mother's passing. I really believe it's a broken heart syndrome. You know, he was the baby, the firstborn, and out of 5 brothers and, you know, sisters and a couple foster kids, he was the firstborn, and he devoted to his mother everything. He didn't have a wife. He had me and my sister. Now, just remind you, I was already living in Florida. I left in 2002 and I moved to Florida because I wanted a better life. The rents were just getting so ridiculous in New York. I couldn't afford to pay the rent anymore. So I'm like, let me move to Florida. Florida sold me paradise. Florida sold me the ocean. It sold me the warm air. It sold me the pretty animals in the sea, big giant fish. It sold me the warm water, and it sold me paradise. Florida's been oversold. It's just been so oversold. And let me tell you something. Florida really needs to hand out a handbook, the do's and the don'ts of the state of Florida. What you know from your state does not fly in the state of Florida. State of Florida has its own rules and regulations. And every county you go to, in every city and state and county jurisdictions are all different. I mean, literally. It's just like they have such old rules on the books. Nothing's been changed. No one petitions things to be changed in Florida. Ron DeSantis, sorry about all these notifications today, but Ron DeSantis, he is the one that's supposed to be, you know, re-regulating these laws and doing something. You know, it's really sad because you could get tied up in some real BS in the state of Florida, and it's something innocent. You were doing a person, let's just say, you're doing a person a favor. You're driving your vehicle. You're a designated driver. You're a designated driver. You're helping somebody out in a situation. You go pick them up on, I don't know, somewhere in another county somewhere. That person gets in your vehicle, you get pulled over by the cops because it's your vehicle, you're the driver, it's your vehicle, you're responsible for whatever is on your passenger and in your vehicle. You would get a felony in some shit. People got guns, you got let's just say a felon with a gun, a felon with drugs and gun inside of your vehicle. You're going down along with your co-rider. You're both going the fuck down. Now, you know, your co-writer could say, look, she didn't know nothing. He or she didn't know nothing about it. She just picked me up. She was giving me a ride. Let her go and do his time. Or they'll turn around and snitch on you. And in the state of Florida, the rules are the streets. Or anywhere really in America, snitches get stitches. So just remember that. Don't be a fucking snitch. You do your time. Now, if you're gonna roll on that person, you're gonna roll. Like me, innocent driver here, doing the good thing, being a designated driver, the only one that wasn't drunk that night, and I got popped and got some bullshit tied up. I really went through real hell. I mean, getting caught up in county time and state time are two different things, but it's almost the same thing. You're just getting the taste of it. You're getting it. The playground is the county jail, and the main schooling of everything is in the state prison. So it's nasty. I left Florida. I I decided in 2016 I didn't want to really be in Florida anymore. I want to be able to have an area where I could, take my home. I was renting. I've been renting since the age of 16. I've been an emancipated minor. I've gone through the dicks and the trenches of America. I mean, I was born and raised in Hempstead, New York. Born and raised, Rosedale. My stepping grounds is like all over, from New York City all the way out to Long Island. They didn't have this one particular place, but Rosedale, Queens is where it got me started. And then I went to Valley Stream, which I landed up in the Hewlett High School District. And then from there to Jamaica, Valley Stream, North, Lawrence, Far Rockaway, from Beach Channel. I was all over. I was just a bad little kid, and I didn't do anything that I was supposed to be doing in life. And I mean, by the grace of God, at 44 years old, I am still alive. I am breathing. I have two beautiful children. I have a piece of land, 8 acres of land that's mine. I've been renting my whole entire life. And one day I just had an epiphany after my dad died. I'm like, I don't want to rent no more. I want to have something that's mine. I want to be able to travel all over America. I have a cleaning service that's an LLC. I travel with vacation rentals. Wherever the tourism goes, that's where I go. And do Airbnbs, vacation rentals, turn my Airbnb, flip my Airbnb, turn over Airbnbs, all kinds of whatever. Whatever it was for cleaning, I left. And I also had commercial contacts with the contracts with the federal government. So I was doing pretty well. I was doing great, enjoying my life. I got me an RV. I bought me 2 vehicles. I had some change left over and paid off all my bills. I was, like I said in my couple of videos, if anyone's out there listening, that my dad left me a little bit of like life insurance policies and whatever we got from the military and whatever my dad had. So very grateful that he left me something. And with that, I was able to get a piece of land. And yeah, I still make payments on it, but a big chunk of whatever I had left over went to this piece of land. So I went for the land and the utility thing, the septic pole I had, everything you see that's set up right now on this land is what's left over from that money. So I've been living a good life. I've lived a hard life. I've really lived a really hard life, but I made my life hard because I didn't go to school. I didn't follow my dreams. I hung out with bad children that led me to drugs. I was a really bad drug addict for majority of my life. I mean, alcohol and drugs. Alcohol runs in my family. I come up from a long line of alcoholics. I come from a long line of drug addicts. So when you see it, think it's normal, and it's not normal. Thank God I never got to like this flunker and this meth and I did do a lot of pills, but I never got addicted to pills. My addiction was more when I was growing up was crack cocaine and I lived in New York City, how you see it in Jack City in the 80s, that's literally how it was. I didn't get addicted to it until like late 89, early 92s. And for the short period of time that I was on it, um, it was nasty. I wouldn't wish it to nobody. I'm lucky I'm still alive. I've never sold myself to nobody on the streets. I'm a hustler. Rob your ass. Never had to use a gun. I ran with a pack of little jits. And at that time we called them juvenile delinquents, but it's the same thing. And I just went on through life, having my first son, he really saved me. God was like, this girl is gonna die out here. And just running with the wrong type of people, putting myself in situations that I normally wouldn't put myself in because I'm more smarter than that. But when you're running with a crowd, the crowd ain't thinking right. You know what I'm saying? So it's very hard. It's very hard. But I mean, New York made me who I am. I'm originally from New York. And when I moved to Florida, I was like a young 25, 26 years old. Got to start me a new life. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows about me. But again, people, places, and things. It doesn't matter where you live in America. People, places, and things. The same characteristics that you were hanging out in New York, you found in Florida. Hello. You came to Florida to get a better life. Got tied up in some bullshit. But the stuff in New York that I would have got tied up, I would have just been able to play a ticket, $1.50 and call it a day. In Florida, not in Florida, whatever he got caught with, I landed up getting a year probation. I landed up getting a year probation in Collier County. I lost my medical job. I lost my just got like a special program called Section 8 housing. I got thrown off of that. I lost a good job that I transferred down to Florida with. I'm from New York, and I lived a really hard life. It took me almost 15 years just to get the housing back. And when I did get the housing back, like literally 2 years later, my dad died. Like, what? And I was left this money, so I had to come off program. There's no way you could have like a big chunk of change sitting in your shoebox and program ain't gonna know. When they run your social, they'll know everything about you. And no, there's no way I could possibly do it. So I just got off a program. And I've been out here traveling the world in my RV. I bought me a nice used RV. It took me almost a whole year to find one that I didn't want to spend a big chunk of change because you could run into like thousands. You could buy a brand new tall hauler all set up, the prisses and process, and pay like $95,000. Then you have to get a truck to tow the tall hauler. Plus, you have to get the hook up in the back of your tall hauler, your hitch. And then you also got to get the air brakes, the air springs. It could cost you almost $100,000. By then, I might as well get a bus and drive that sucker. And then you have to have your gas and your traveling money. You don't have traveling money, I don't know where you're going to go. See, what was good with me, I had those federal contracts, so I already had a prepaid general traveling expense, what is going to cost us in diesel to get to this location, because it's the diesel we're putting in the truck. Here comes another jet. He's coming. Where is he? He's real. My whole house shakes when these bitches come down. Mike, where is you? I don't know where he is. He could be on the north side of my house right now. He could be on the north side of my house. My whole house shakes when these jets come over. They just come out from up from above and come down. They're very active today. They have to get out there and cover the sun, so we get more and more colder out here. Well, anyway, so, you know, life isn't as easy as everyone thinks. I make it look easy, but it really isn't. I go through a struggle each and every day out here. My federal contracts got me to all over America. I'm really grateful that I was able to experience working with, cleaning up like VA hospitals. I'll tell you what I did with federal contracts. Cleaning out VA hospitals, assisting seniors that live in VA assisted facilities, bed bug treatments. We did a lot of bed bug treatments. Let me see, working on the housing complex where military men and women, I could do it up here in Savannah and then one in Augusta, Fort Bragg, and mm, I came to a brain fog for the one in Savannah, but I'm just not working right now because of my kidney stones, and I have to have another procedure, and I have a 25 centimeter kidney stone teetering between my right kidney and the urinary tract. So I'm gonna have to have another procedure. And that's not gonna be happy. I'm not gonna be happy about that. I mean, I've had 9 procedures within 9 months. It's 1 per month. I had 2 in 1 month back in May where I almost died. Got septic. And now I got acute kidney failure, and I see a nephrologist on that, and it's constant urine tests and blood tests and this and that. And I apply for SSI disability. Even though I do have an LLC for a timber business, I don't make money off of this. I make money every 3 to 5 years, and whatever I sell off out of my garden. But right now I'm not selling anything out of my garden because what I'm trying to maintain is really for us to start eating first, and then after we have enough. But eventually, my husband, he could claim the LLC for, underneath his social, which he has his own. You got to make sure you have your own ECIN number, which you get that from the IRS, and it's free underneath an LLC or a DBA, doing business as, or 1099er, INC, or self-sold prosperous. It's just it's a special number. It's a it's a special number. It's a special number that you get from the IRS for your business. That's basically all it is. So it seems that notifications are very busy today, and everybody wants a call. So yeah, living life, you got to take it as a grain of salt. You got to be appreciative of what you have. You have a job. You have a roof over your head. You have food in your stomach. Doesn't matter where you live or how you live, as long as you're living. Because there's a lot of people that ain't living today, that had plans to go and do something today, and they're here today. Everybody dies. Everybody dies. Everybody lives, but everybody dies. And many of us will have eternal life, and many will not. And I might make it look easy what I do, but my life ain't easy. I'm not working, not having no income coming in. By the grace of God, I have a little bit of money left that I've been able to make my land payments and continue to go through. Um, you know, of course, Calvin works, my husband works, but, you know, we have to get a transmission for our truck. I have a blue top on the back of my truck currently, and you can see it all the way out there because a rock hit the a big rock bounced off. It was like a freak accident. It bounced off, boom, 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 and hit into my damn window. I don't know how the hell it happened. All I could see was a big rock in the back of the truck. And it was a freak accident, so I have to get a window for this truck. I need to get a transmission. That's going to be like $3,000 for that. I can't leave. Oh, look at the little birdie. That's a little, see that little birdie? That's the birdie that lives in the hitch. I can't leave here. I can't travel. I like to travel again. I don't want to be in 15-degree weather. I want to be in 28-degree weather. I want to be in like 92-degree weather. You know, I like to be back in Florida. This is season. Season's coming in. But I can't work, you know, so I'm basically stuck here, and I just work my land and starting to get the winter stuff going and clearing up all these trees and working on these oak trees that I have here. And I do have oak trees out here just growing in the wild, you know, that I resell. I mean, this tree here, it looks like a bush, but it is an oak tree, as you can see with the leaves. But that's going to come out right here because there's Jumanji vines that are suffocating it. Up on top, that brown stuff, those are Jumanji vines. Those are the, those slave bushes, Brisenberry bushes or something. I call them slave bushes because a white person created that crap to keep the slaves embedded in the lands out here. And those things will cut you like razors. I've been getting cut, and I just found I have one stuck embedded in my foot. It broke off. I didn't even feel it until today. So I have a bunch of these, you know, oak trees. I have a lot of little baby pines out here, longleaf pines, they're pretty pine cones. I have a lot of maple trees out here, maple trees are not normally grown between, they're like a northerner tree, but I have a lot of them out here on my property because it's a rare tree. So I have a lot of stuff out here that I already naturally have in my existence. All this grass out there is going to die off. We're going to get a skid steer out here, which we have to rent from Augusta, Georgia. We have to get a trailer to drag it back down here. There is nothing in my immediate area. Nobody out here willing to help me out with a skid steer. And if they do, they want to charge you like $1,000 to run it out here. I don't want to pay $1,000. I want to pay you hourly. This is what I'm working with. $500. Knock out what you could do for $500 with the skid steer. If not, then I could rent the damn skid steer for $500 for an all-day rental and knock out my whole property all day long. For $1,000, 2 days. Boom, knock it out. I'll be good. Not $1,000 for 1 day's worth of work. Like 2 hours worth of work. They want to rob you out here all the time. If I can't do it, I do it by myself. This whole land's been done, like, especially this road right here. This has been done with a rake, a hoe, a weed whacker, and burning. Everything's done by hand out here. The only machine that's been out here since we've been on this land was when my landlord did that septic thing for us. Dropped this temporary tank we have. For these temporary tanks, you could buy them online. It's 500 gallons. Like I said, we you know, at one time we weren't showering in here, but now we are. So with the shower water, we just open the gray tanks to collect the shower water, and that water we will set inside for our fruits and vegetables and stuff. There's nothing wrong with shower water. All it is water and soap. You're washing off your dirty body. That's it. You're not putting no chemicals in it. Nothing. It's healthy for your land anyway. But other than that, I was just wanting to have a quick little chit chat. Nothing much going on here. I'm just very, very cold. But I'm very, very warm inside. I need to cover up my underbelly. I need to go to the store. I need to get, I need to go up to really Augusta, Georgia, but it's so darn far. I mean, Augusta is about an hour from where I'm sitting north. And it's so far to go all the way up there. If I'm going to Augusta, I need to get like my tire. I need to go and get this. I need to get that. I need to get this, and that. I need to make it all like five things in one trip. So it's worth the while for me to go up that way. I'm basically a stay-home person. I don't go anywhere. State of Florida made me a different person. I don't give people random rides. Even here in Georgia, I don't give people random rides. I stick to myself. I don't talk to nobody because I don't got time to get pulled up in nobody's BS. Every state has their different rules, and you gotta apply by the rules that you go to. But Florida, I'm telling you, anybody watching these videos, don't go to Florida on vacation. By chance, leave home and not be on probation. And please, whatever you do, don't come back with the violation because Florida will hang you for everything. They're an extradited state. They'll go to China to get their criminal back to the state of Florida. I've seen people getting picked up from Las Vegas, California, Ohio, Chicago, Detroit. They went all the way up to like Niagara Falls, like Canadian New York borderline, to bring back an inmate that's on the run from the state of Florida. And Florida will take you to any state that you're wanted to. So if you got an extradition, like a hold on your sentence and whatever the case might be, then they'll ship you. If you're done in 12 years, they'll ship you to another state. If the warrant ain't released by the time you get done with your custody hold in the state of Florida. So, yeah. Don't be wanted in another state and come to Florida because Florida will send your ass back. They have enough criminals. They got enough craziness in the state of Florida. They don't need other states' criminals down here. They got enough of their own criminals. Believe me, they're packing these jails and these prison systems in. There's more youth offenders now than ever. There is no rehabilitation. Just send them to prison, send them to prison, send them to prison, send them to prison, send them to prison. There is no rehabilitation out here. Youth offender program, it might catch one or two people, but it doesn't work. What works is finding out what these children are interested in doing besides ripping and robbing and killing people and getting them into those type of programs to set them up for their future, not to be set up to be back in the adult side after the YO, which is a youth offender program. And it's crazy. Florida is just nonsense. Florida doesn't give you parole. It's either you do 75% of your time. Oh, right now it's 85% of your time. They're supposed to be changing the game time to 75% of your time, to give you, but you're 75% doing your time, and then the other half of your time you're at work camps or what they call them, these little, they allow you to go and get jobs, but you have to still check in every night. You have to be on their property. You have to have, the full breakdown, work camps or whatever you call them. But it's nasty. Florida's real nasty. But other than that, I love being in Georgia. I just don't love the cold. This is all mine. I wake up to this beautiness every single day. What I paid for this land, it's really 2 years of me renting in the city, especially in South St. Petersburg, at $1,500 a month, living in the hood, never owning the house, just paying. I'm a long-term tenant. I like paying my rent and having a roof over my head for me and my 2 kids. I've only been evicted twice in my life. 2 times in my whole entire life. As a single mother, my husband is deceased. My first husband, my real husband. My second husband, it's really common law. In Georgia, they do common law still, so that's common law. It's not marriage certificate proof, but my real husband, he died in cancer in 97. So I've really been on my own since 1997 to now. But I've been on my own as a single person from the age of 16 to now. So I've had a full life of criminal activity and just being a bad little child. It's not, there's things that led me to be bad, and I guess as an act out, there's nobody was caring what Vanessa was doing when she was a kid. Vanessa was out there, man. But it is what it is, and I'm a strong soldier, and I continue fighting my battles each and every day. And being grateful to God that I was able to get this land, 8 acres. I done better than the whole damn town did. And I know the landman who sold me this 8 acres for the little bit of money that he had given me, charged me for it. He's kicking his ass. I know he's kicking himself in the ass, but I made it. I mean, God gave it to me and landed in my lap, and I ran with it. So, but other than that, there's nothing else. I could talk all day long because I have no one to really talk to. Nobody cares what I say around here. I have a teenager, he's in himself, and the man is always gone out to town with his dogs or out there working. So, I hope you all have a great day from Green Steel USA. Stay warm and enjoy your day.